Okay guys, we're back and this is the final part of the second tube, what I call the special presentation, part 4, the end. This will be the second tube that I'm doing that's also red and black. So we're gonna finish this thing off. So we ended with black beads and you could have done as many or as little as you wanted. Now what I'm gonna do is in the middle, we gotta start taking some of these cords away because we don't need that many. I want to end up with 3 red cords coming from the middle. So one by one, I'm gonna just wrap them and leave it off to the side to cut and burn afterwards. So I'm gonna do, that's the wrapping cord that I had been using. And now I'm gonna go from 16 to 3. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a double knot. Bear with me. There's 1, 2, then a back and forth knot, 3, and 4. And I'm going to do that until I only have 3 cords left. I realized my cords were sort of getting stuck at the bottom. So I realized that the necklace was getting really long and I cut my cords so very long. So fortunately though, the cords that I wind up with are long enough to do like some other project with. So it's not a loss. I'll still be able to use them. So I just did a double knot and then a back and forth knot. And like I said, you just keep doing that until you have only 3 cords left in the middle. And I'm just going to speed it up a bit here so we can get done with this last video. And you can do it all on one side or opposite sides, it doesn't really matter because you're not going to see this part when we cut and burn it. It's up to you how you want to do it. I just did it all on one side, I think, to just make it easier for when I cut them. So I'm getting ready and thinking about what I want to do for my next project. And I'm excited to get started on something new, something that is not black and red. I'm sure if any of my viewers have been staying with me throughout this, you're probably wanting that too. I think I'm going to do something with the pink and white stone that I wrapped in a video where I showed you just how to wrap a stone cabochon, and so I'm going to make something funky and pink. Also, I had someone ask me if I was going to do any tutorials on some of the sets I have. In my Etsy shop, I have sets where I have matching bracelets and pendants. They're kind of matching, not perfectly matching, but the stones match and the colors match and they look like sets. So I have a large rose quartz and a smaller rose quartz that I think I'm going to do that with. I think I'm going to make a pendant necklace and a bracelet that matches, and maybe some earrings because I recently got some earring hooks. I don't have any earrings in my shop. I've made a pair of earrings, but I never put them up. But maybe now is the time to start doing that. I also got some key rings from the bead store that I shop at. But there are so many options for keychains. I don't know where to even begin. Anyways, so I think I have one more to do, and then I will have eliminated all cords except for 3. And the reason I do 3 is because to have a strong necklace to put the sliding clasp through, I like to have 3 3 on each side. So you're going to do this for both sides. And just cut them off, and then I'm going to burn it. I think I burned most of it off the camera, but just burn the edges and smooth them out with your finger as much as you can. And then what I'm going to do now with the black cords that I have left, I'm going to tie them together like I was going to insert a bead, but I'm not going to insert a bead, so that they're all tied together. So I'm going to do like a spiral staircase knot instead of anything super fancy to end it with. So you take the 4 cords in between 2 beads, and you take the top 2 and tie them over with a double knot. Then take the one from the left and tie a double knot, just like you would if you were gonna add a bead. And you find the right one and do the same thing. This one's going, you're taking the bottom cord and knotting onto the one that came over. And then with those 2 cords in the middle, instead of adding a bead, I'm just going to cross them over and tie a double knot. And this just makes everything even at the bottom, as much as it can be. Okay, and you're just going to flip around and do all 4 sides like that. Take the top 2, do a double knot, then the 2 on the left and the right, you tie like you would a bead, but don't add a bead, just tie those 2 together. Okay, and I just sped the video up because you guys should understand what it is I'm doing. So that was the second one. And then you do it for the 3rd and the 4th. Same thing. Tie it like you would a bead, but then don't add a bead. And last one. Two in the middle, tie it together. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and find all of the points in between, like right where the bead ends. There will be 2 cords that are coming from either side you just did. I'm just gonna tie them together. It'll make like a point right underneath the bead of the last row, 2 from the opposite side that you just did if you did all 4 sides. Okay, so that's what it will look like. I'm holding those 2 separate because those are going to be my starting cords. so I always pull them from the back. But in just a second, I'm going to show you that I use the 2 cords that I made that point with that look like that. Okay, and those are what I'm using to start my spiral staircase knot, but at the back. Okay, and you're gonna do over, under, pull through. It's like a square knot, but instead of doing it from opposite sides, you do it from the same side. That's how you make the spiral staircase knot. And I'm just pulling all my cords down so that they're tightly in through. Okay, so same side, over, under, top one over, back one under, and that's 2 over, under. And the way I do it is I do 5 knots, then I give it a little spin, and then I will leave those and get 2 more new cords. Sorry, I messed something up in this part. Okay, but it's still fine. So that was number 3. Same side, over, then under. That was 4. This will be 5. Sorry. 5. Pull them nice and tight. Then I take those cords and just spin it so you can see the beginning of the spiral. And it makes sure that when I grab 2 new cords from either side, it actually lines up. So I'm going to start from the same side. I'm starting from the left, making an over, under. It's kind of like a 4, and then you go under like that. If you're familiar with square knots, it's like that, but you're always starting from the same side. In my case, the left side will be always the starting. And I do 5 knots, and then I give it a little spin. 2 more cords. This is just so I can, it'll start getting smaller and smaller as I go down towards the end where the red cords ended. You can do it however you want. You don't have to do the count to 5 if you don't like the way that looks. There's the amount of knots you make in a spiral knot will dictate how it looks. You can make them longer, you can make them shorter. Play around with your spiral knots. It's actually kind of fun. And however you figure out that you like the look of your spiral staircase knot is how you can do it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that until I have the knots I'm making are a little off camera, but you could clearly see what I was doing in the first 2 to 3, so I'll just do 5, give it a little spin, pull them nice and tight. Here is my other side that I did beforehand, and you can see I was just making sure that I'm on track, doing the exact same thing on both sides. So the last video I uploaded was, I think today would have been the 7th day. It took me this long to do the opposite side from what I videoed and uploaded. I had a couple days where, just had things going on, couldn't get to do the work I wanted, or some days it's just really hard to do more than like 1 or 2 hours of the macrame. And this necklace wound up being quite long, so It took a while to do. It takes longer when you're doing video and editing and all this good stuff. So this, I did 6 that had 5 knots each. Now I'm doing this one with 10. Just, I don't know, wanted to do it that way. I think because I was getting close to the end of the red and needed to make it even on both sides. I think I missed, no, it's fine. See, it's the same. So then I'm gonna take the last 2 black cords and just do a couple double knots just to get them off the way, because I don't need any more spiral. And you always want to try to knot a cord when you can, so when you cut and burn it, there's no fraying. Okay, then I'm gonna tie a little knot with the red right at the base. And you see I did that on the other side. And just make it as small as you can. All right, now all that's next is to cut and burn. I always make sure that I pull the cords one more time before I cut them, so I know that they're tight. Zip, zip, zip. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, because I left it, so I made sure that I was doing it even on both sides. And so this is just a nice simple way you can end your project. In my opinion, it's not very difficult, but quite effective, you know, to get rid of your cords and to get it down so you only have the cords you need to make a sliding clasp knot, which is my preferred one because, you know, I think it's just better for selling that way. People can adjust it the way they want. Burning them off the screen, but burning is burning. You're just burning your edges and trying to make them as smooth as possible. No, it's not perfect on the one side, but it's all right. Anyways, I added a bead, a bigger bead. I have these like big, I think they're like 6 centimeter beads. I'm not sure what their size are, but they have big holes, so I could easily fit 3 cords through them. And now I will add my pendant so I can tie it together. I'm going to do a square knot, which becomes the sliding clasp. And this square knot you will do like a normal square knot. You go from one side to the other side. You don't want to spiral. You want it to be square. So you take you have 3 cords coming from both sides, either side, and you just take them and you put them together kind of like that, so you have, you know, they're I can't explain. You fold them over each other basically, so you can do this square knot. So see, I'm going from, if I did one on the left, now I'm doing it on the right as the top. Now I'm doing it left top. Now I'm doing right top, left top, right, and left, and do as many as you want. I don't know how many I did here. Just make sure that it's sturdy and strong, and then you just cut it and carefully burn this. You really want to make sure that this end doesn't come undone ever. And when you pull it, there you are, you have a sliding clasp knot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another bead, and then I'm going to just pull a length, maybe like, I don't know, 15-20 centimeters long or so, to give it enough room so it can be stretched out far. And then you tie a knot. Try to make them even. They don't have to be perfectly even. I don't think it matters at the end of the day. Yeah, see, these are a little way too uneven, so I tried to adjust that. And it's close enough. You can always fix this, undo the knots and redo them. But I think it's fine. And then I just cut that, and I just leave it like that. And so that's it. That's this entire thing. I will measure it and put the measurements in before I upload this video. I forgot to do that. But it is longer than the first tube that we made. This was quite a beast of a tube I made. I just kept going and going, and it just was like, oh, this came out really long. But that's okay. I think it sits around my, for me, I'm a tall person, so it sits around my sternum. You can see all the details, all the back and forth knots, beads, transitioning into the end, how we added the sliding clasp. All right, so yay, we're done with this. I wanted to make a tube for this necklace so I could put it in my shop, and I'm glad I filmed it. I think it was just another way to show you guys how you can make tubes. One video we started with beads, and this one we didn't. So that's going to be all. Thank you guys for watching. Come back. I will let you know when I have a new video going on. All right, bye-bye.